we realized that photography is about art, is about memories, it's about communication, it's about science of making pictures.
Right.
Okay? There are these four aspects. Two sides of it are art and science, which comes down to communication being always there. Photography is photo and graphe. Photo means light, graphe means building something together. So when you're building something or planning something with light, it's called photography. And photography is like painting. It's like painting with on a piece of paper with color.
Right.
Here the color is light. A photographer is not a person who holds a camera. A photographer is not a person who's trying to capture memories or make art or do some science. A photographer is a person who's observing constantly. And a photographer is a person who's observing light constantly. You will realize that it's the reality of life. It will communicate. It forms the textures in our world. It forms the colors in our world. It forms darkness and brightness. It forms it is a cosmic energy which is constantly being followed by scientists for ages, and it still remains a mystery. Even in the spectrum we see some amount of light, but beyond that, ultraviolet we cannot see. It's harmful. Under that, infrared is heat.
Not visible,
Not visible, just heat, but makes us, forms plants, form actually the most important part of light which formed the entire earth was infrared. It's the heat that made us. Then we've moved to understanding that always when we are looking at light, and we as photographers, when we constantly look at light, our objective is to just constantly learn what light is about and how light is working in the environment. First thing is that you see where is the source of light and what are the other things that are reflecting the light. So that is why I say even in the DSLR, when you're buying a DSLR or even an SLR, look at the size of the sensor. They keep talking about megapixels. Okay? Megapixels is just how densely you're packing those pixels. And after a point in time, you cannot make the difference out. इतना densely pack कर दोगे कि छोटा-छोटा dot नजर नहीं आएगा, पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि dots हैं. And actually realize that from a print perspective, when you look at a newspaper and you look at a magazine में एकदम glossy सा feel आता है, सब कुछ एकदम एक जैसा लगता है. That is 500 or that is around 600 pixels in 1 inch. We're going into 5 million pixels when we say 5 megapixel. 5 million pixel एक इंच में पैक्ड होता है 5 megapixel. ठीक है. उसी तरीके से अब जब 24 megapixel हम लेते हैं तो 24 million pixel पैक करते हैं. That digital zoom is nothing but cropping your picture. It's like saying, okay, after a point in time, it is going to zoom optically. When the lenses are going to actually move and give you a zoom. Like how telescopes work and binoculars work, right? After that point, what it's only doing is it's just giving you a picture and it's just cropping the image. It's like cropping the rest of it, only optically zoom it. Do not go and zoom it into a digital space. Why? Because it's like coming back with the same shot and taking the picture and cropping it. What has photography done to art is that earlier photographs art was all abstract. You would see, even in the tribal time, you would see all of these symbolism kind of drawings and you would try and understand something out of them. But as we have grown and as photography came in, what happened was we were able to, the artist had the ability to see the picture, look at the picture and get to that level of detail. You would see that here. See. Now these are paintings. Of the camera obscura, which is the pinhole camera, which does not even record, was used for the same 2D reference. एक 2D reference मिल जाएगा तो उसको पता चलेगा कि कहाँ पे क्या है और उसको exactly देखना नहीं पड़ेगा, हर एक चीज़ का perspective नहीं लगाना पड़ेगा एक 3D space में. So that 2D reference is used here also in the 11th century, and now we use photographs and just make hyper realistic painting like this. When we talked about photography being an art, this is the side of photography. This is the side of a photographer that has to come out of you. So feeling the motion and the emotion in the alive as well as in the static.